I'm with James. Yet another exemplary performance from Arsenal. The performances, if anything, are getting better.
Yeah.
I've seen the Forest 3-0, Sporting, smoked them, and today, West Ham. Over to you. What do you say about that?
Does Martin Odegaard make us a team that can't win a Premier League game in a month? Go from that to 5 at West Ham, 5 in Lisbon, 3 against Forest, who were in good form when we played them. Apparently, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? What a turnaround of events for Arsenal. It's 3 wins in a row.
I'm just keen to think, which performance has impressed you the most out of the 3?
It's got to be Sporting, because they are one of the form teams in Europe. I mean, if you're talking, okay, people will have questions over the league and all that. I'm not trying to throw any disrespect there, but that will be something that's thrown at them. But when you look at their record, they haven't lost a game. In fact, were they 11 for 11? I can't remember. I didn't really look at their record, but
they had 11 games prior to that. I think they'd won all their league games, 100% record in the league. I think Champions League games, they'd had 4 prior to that, 1-3 and drawn 1.
It would have been good enough to go and win 1-0 there, but 5-1 there? But this one was really good.
Some of the football in that first half was just sumptuous, yeah?
Yeah, I felt that first half, because West Ham were really trying to press us and have a go. I love the composure showed by the players. Every player, in whatever blade of grass they touch on that pitch, they feel comfortable to take the ball down. I think what really stood out to me was everyone's first touch today. Everyone. Jorginho, Zinchenko when he came on, Saka when the ball was pinged to him. Everything. Saliba when the ball would be over the top, he'd take it down and we'd play. When you've got a first touch like that, you buy yourself that extra split second to play. And everything Arsenal did, especially in that first half, was so zip, comfortable. Just confidence oozing through them. And then obviously the set pieces came through, because Nicolas Jova might be the best set piece coach of all time. But we also played some brilliant football, because 1 goal doesn't win you anything. As we saw, West Ham 2 goals out of almost nothing. So Arsenal, I think, did well to just keep playing their football as well. 5 goals by half-time should normally win you a game of football, and it did.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. I think you mentioned set piece. I think something like 20 set-piece goals now for Arsenal.
But I mean, what are we on this season? I'm not sure, but I mean, it's something like 30 since the start of last campaign, which is extraordinary. And we've got Saka and Rice, who are both brilliant off set pieces. I think Arsenal have tried maybe over the years. I can't remember if maybe Odegaard used to take some. I know Martinelli definitely used to take some. But now we've settled on kind of those 2. And, we were joking about on the watch along, but you really get in this situation with Arsenal where it's like, oh, we have a corner. It's so weird. And that was actually, Rice put in a brilliant ball from a free kick, almost similar area to the Liverpool one. Remember Mourinho scored against Liverpool? That whipped ball into the box, and Havertz was going to, but they dealt with that one. Yeah. So the deliveries are unbelievable. And I do think, an ace in tennis is slightly different, but like 3 points like that. When like Roger Federer was in the mud and he just needed 2 or 3 big serves and he could find it. The ability to find a brilliant, because it's a free kick at a ball. I mean, it's called a free kick, but it's what it says on the tin. You have a free attempt. No one's going to stop you. So make something of it. And Arsenal mastering what was probably just it used to just be a thing in football. Listen, lots of teams, we're not the first to ever do it. Lots of teams over the years have been very, very good from set pieces. But to have been a side that are competing at that level, who want to play football, the ball on the floor, to have still found the time to work on that as much as we do, and it's got to stage. It's a joke on Twitter now. People are like, this is, they're laughing. Another one. It's just incredible. I mean, the rate of consistency, the work they must go into in training from Nicolas Jova, and the boys have to execute it, is nothing short of sensational. Really well done to them for that.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Couple of potential injuries that might be a cause for concern. We saw Calafiori come off. He looked like he was touching his groin, and he said something to the manager, Mikel Arteta. I don't know quite how much to read into that. Also, Gabriel, who was outstanding again, by the way, scored a great goal, the first goal. It would appear that he came off due to, I'm not going to say it was a concussion, but he got clattered by the keeper. Yeah, you
wonder if it was that,
so you're wondering whether it's that. But although he did look all right towards the end of the game, he was smiling, joining in with the fans, celebrating at the end of the game. But hopefully he's going to be okay, yeah?
We hope so, and that's not including Partey and Marino, who obviously missed the game because of their injury. So what I'd say is Arsenal have a good enough squad for me to deal with those. I mean, if we have to play Kivior at centre-back. I thought first 20 minutes shaky, wasn't engaging with Antonio and Bowen in the battles in the way I wanted him to, but I thought he got better as the game went on. I thought Zinchenko, really great cameo. I thought he looked really, really neat and was getting us playing and settling us in possession. Nice of him to remind us the value he can add to this team. Excuse me. And, Jorginho. This guy's a master of what he does. He really is. That I'm going to sit at the base and the football's going to run through me. It's a very rare player. I remember Gary Neville, don't get upset, people, rival fans watching this. I remember Gary Neville likened him to Paul Scholes in the way he could, he could run a game of football and marshal it, even though Jorginho's not the strongest one. Now listen, I watched Paul Scholes towards the end of his career, and you see how the guy was an unbelievable player. I'm not saying Jorginho's Paul Scholes, but those types of players are actually quite rare because he's not blessed physically. He's not very fast. You can dart past him, but you can't if he positions himself well enough. You can't if he reads the game well.
He's got an excellent football brain, no doubt about it.
Unbelievable football game. And you know what? I sort of get heat on, whether it be on my channel, on AFTV, whenever I float the idea of Jorginho playing. And people say to me like, but why? He's not Partey, he's not Rice, and he lacks physically. But I don't know what more he has to do in an Arsenal shirt for people to realise that, do you want to start all season with him? No. But if you need to play him, you can play him. That's the North London derby now. That's Liverpool and Man City last season where he put in big performances. So in other words, just had to come in out of nowhere. None of us thought Partey wasn't going to be available. Suddenly, right, you're in, Jorginho, off you go. And he gives us a masterclass in midfield. Very underrated player. And also, at the risk of upsetting more fans, but here we go, why not, we're on a roll. I'd love if Chelsea fans are watching this. Let's try to give me a really, really unbiased view on this. He won... Did he win FA Cup? Well, he definitely won the Champions League with Chelsea. Yeah, so what he's done at Chelsea, regardless of level of performance, whatever he's done at Chelsea is greater than anything he's done at Arsenal. I totally acknowledge that. And he was, third in the Ballon d'Or list or something? No, maybe it wasn't. Was he? He might have been. He was in the Ballon d'Or runnings. He obviously won the Euros with Italy. He was a Chelsea player. So in his time at Chelsea...
He's highly decorated.
Yeah, and in his time at Chelsea, he racked up a lot of those. My question, though, is he still was seen as a bit of a... He was a mocked player at times, even at Chelsea, despite what he'd done. But Chelsea fans, I don't think all loved him. Some felt, they definitely upgraded with Enzo, blah, blah. Is his stock and reputation up at Arsenal, despite having not achieved the same things? Is it higher than it was at Chelsea? I'm not saying it is, I'm asking the question. Because I know what he won and his partnership with Kante and all that is incredible. But I feel like every time he pulls on an Arsenal shirt and he puts in a performance like that, the reputation of this guy is just going up and up, and people are sort of seeing him for the mastery he does have in midfield when he's on his game. And quite frankly, I can think of one half against Tottenham where he wasn't on his game, and that is it. Otherwise, he's been sublime for us.
No, I would agree. Aesthetically, you're right. He's not the most pleasing. You're not going to look at him and think, wow, he's not that type of player.
He's not the most like a lung-busting, but he, on the ball, he's very
he's reliable. And the biggest compliment we can pay to him today is that Partey, one of our best players this season, was not playing, and we hardly missed him. So
didn't skip a beat.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's talk about a player that does get a lot of love. For me, he was man of the match today, a goal and a couple of assists. As we seem to be saying this every week, Bukayo Saka.
Yeah. There were debates about the whole world class thing, and I understand that people will throw around, what's your definition of world class? Do you have to win things to be world class? Is it about how highly you rank in the world for that position? Bukayo Saka is one of the best wingers in world football. So if people want to put him in world class or whatever, you argue amongst yourselves. We're now looking at, I think, 5 goals and 10 assists. Yeah. Maybe 5 goals and 11. I think it's 5.
Definitely 15 goal involvements this season. 5 goals for sure.
In the league alone. Yeah. That's outrageously good. And he's not just a stat padder. Look at the work rate this guy does. Everything he does defensively. Look at the range of assists, whether it be crosses to the back post, whether it be darting in behind, whether it be whatever. There is such a range to his football. He scores goals with his left, right. He can make things happen out of nothing. He could be on the end to finish moves. And now we're looking at a player who, I think with Ødegaard back in especially, I think there's something going on really nicely with them and Timber. He could play on the inside more, and then you get him a bit closer to goal. He could be out wide to open the game. The amount of times that first half, and Trossard just decided to ping the ball out to Bukayo Saka. I think it was Trossard too. because the whole West Ham back four just come all the way across, because you get into those lanes of attack and they're all trying to pick someone up and Saka's free and they go, well, we'll leave him because he's miles away from the ball. But that's probably the most dangerous thing you can do, because when that ball is switched out to him and you're having to trek all the way across to try to deal with him, he's taken his touch and he's settled. I was mentioning first touches earlier. It takes him one touch to set himself. It takes other players two, maybe three. And it's all part of his brilliance. I think he is sensational, and we're so lucky to have him. I love that he's a Hell End product. It all adds to the story, and I think he's just top in every way, as a player, as a person, as a leader for this group, as a poster boy for what this Arsenal is meant to represent, and where we've come from, having been there when we weren't great, to being there now as we're really trying to get over that final hurdle. Everything about Saka's story and the way he conducts himself, I love. Sensational player. Couldn't
have said it better myself. Just quickly, big game coming up Wednesday. Man United, no words need to be said on the type of game that's going to be. That's a massive game. How do you think we are going into this game? How confident are you?
Well, look, Amorim will throw some tactical questions that Arteta hasn't prepped for or won't have prepped for. Oh, I lie there. I mean, Sporting, to be fair, and actually he's played Amorim twice. So actually, maybe I lie about that, but obviously under United it'll be so different. You want Calafiori, you want Partey, you want Marino, you want all those players available, and Gabriel. So if they're all available, then I feel a lot better. If they're not, look, I still think we should have enough, but it's Man United. I mean, I know they're struggling for form this season, but they're not putting a load of jokers out on the pitch. There'll be some very good players there, even the ones that, and people laugh, but like Mason Mount, like a couple of years ago was a player that Klopp was desperate to get into his team, or rumours say that he was. There are players that you just think, okay, but let's hope they don't turn it on because they can hurt us. So, yeah, Rashford, Garnacho, all these players, they'll be tricky to stop. Højlund's got a goal in him every now and again. Look, I think we're better than them, but they can hurt us. So I hope we have those players back, because I want to be at full strength to face them. Respect United, and hopefully we get another 3 points.